Hello, welcome to Dinner and a Seance. I'm your hostess, Kat Malone. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Tonight we are going to start a new series that I would like to call Dinner and a Seance. With that, we are going to do a dinner, and I would like to say we're going to have a seance, but we can't really, bring the dead. That's just not something we can always do. But what it is the holidays. So with that, I know you guys have big family gatherings around the holidays, along with you have all different types of food, all different things on the plate that look incredibly strange. And for me, all the dishes that are on your plate are typically from family generations passed down. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a little dish to your Thanksgiving dinner. So I don't know where you guys are from, but here in the South, we always seem to have hors d'oeuvre tables. So I wanted something for the hors d'oeuvre table that was new, and it's not really new, but a spin-off of something that you would have that felt new to me. So I picked up a little book here at the local cemetery called Being Dead is No Excuse. This book right here is kind of a clever written book. It's kind of funny because it reminds me of all things Thanksgiving dishes. Like, it is like potluck dishes that people bring to funerals. It is written by Gaten Metcalf and Charlotte Hayes, and it's really cleverly written. It's pretty funny, actually. But what I did find is a deviled egg recipe in here that is completely strange, that I've never made before. So I took the recipe out of this book. I'm going to add it to the hors d'oeuvres before the main course of our dinner and seance tonight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you along in my kitchen. We are going to set out our seance table for after the meal, or before the meal, during the meal, and after the meal. So with that, if you would like to come along and have a dinner and a seance with me tonight, keep watching. Now, before we get started, before any kind of gathering or meal, I like to go ahead and physically clean the space. And I have this Miss Myers cleaner that I love to use, and it's got a nice botanical type of smell to it. And I know that a lot of people love sage and burning it through the space just to clear out the evil spirits, I guess, but I don't really find it necessary. So I tend to like to go with physical cleaning, as I'm not as woo-woo, I guess, as your counterparts that love this type of thing. So, and then another couple things I'm going to gather is I've got this candlestick holder, and I got a little bit of decor from the local Joann's to kind of dress it up. These little ferns would work just fine, so I just use them in the middle of the table. Now, on a traditional seance, it would consist of a few things in the Victorian era. It would always have a tablecloth, a candlestick, and also a wooden table. Now, we checked the boxes, but I kind of modernized it up a little bit, and I have these little tea towels here that I'm going to kind of double as a tablecloth, but I'm only going to use it under the middle of the table for the decor, just to kind of add a little bit of softness to the space. And then we're just going to go ahead and set the table up for the night and get everything ready. I didn't want anything too stuffy or too formal. I just like a nice elbows on the table kind of feel for when I'm entertaining with my guests.
Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take a dozen eggs and I'm going to drop it into this pot of boiling water and we're just going to let them cook up for the next 11 minutes. And then I was at the grocery store and I found this mulling wine called Witch's Brew, and it was the first time I've ever seen it. So we've never tried it before, but I thought it was perfect to pick up for the holidays. So just comment below and let me know if you tried it and what you think. Oh, and we have to talk about the obvious in the room. Yes, my kitchen is going through a major renovation job. So please don't judge the food by what you see in here, because by the time this actually gets posted online, this kitchen will be completely ripped out. Oh, and when you look really close right there, there's my Blanche Devereaux Golden Girls magnet on the fridge. So if you're a Golden Girls fan, and you are definitely welcome to be my friend, because that is everything. So on to the book and then into the recipe. So it calls for only 6 large eggs. I like to double the recipe just because I have a lot of people who do eat, and I'm gonna probably swap out a couple things like the Tabasco. I'll probably end up using, I always have a lot of Louisiana hot sauce in the house, so that's what we'll do. I know this step isn't recommended, but I always like to give my eggs a nice cold water rinse after cooking, so that way it makes it a lot easier to remove the shells. Now, the egg also has a symbolic meaning. So, the egg is noted for symbolizing the cycle of life. Now, how we get to the cycle of life and then we turn around and we do something as deviling it, I guess we start off life as pure and then we ended up going to the devil when we're done with our life. But it just kind of seemed for a fun little holiday tongue in cheek type of dish. So, here we are with the deviled eggs. While we're prepping all of our ingredients, I would like to talk a little bit about deviled eggs and what kind of gave it its name. The name is derived from the 1800s, and it's a term that comes from deviling. And deviling is kind of noted for being a spicy condiment loaded dish. Now, it's possible they gave it the name the devil because it could be that it's named for the excessive heat that you would find in hell. Now, the book where we got this recipe from is from the cemetery that I mentioned. The cemetery is Elmwood Cemetery, and it's a historic cemetery here in Memphis, Tennessee that was built in 1852. It is just south of the out of town limit of Memphis at the time that it was built, and the office and the carriage bridge are on the National Historic Register. It was constructed to be a cemetery but also used as a town park. And today they do all kinds of fun, different events. They'll have movies on the lawn, they'll have walking tours, they'll have tree tours, they'll have all kinds of things that they'll put on all year round. And it's just a neat place to come and visit. And like I said, they'll do little gift shops, and hence where I got the book for this recipe. But if you're ever in Memphis, I do highly recommend that you do check it out. Now, I'd like to talk a little brief about seances, and it's just the communication of spirit using the help of a medium. But it got wildly popular during the Victorian era thanks to a couple of sisters named Kate and Maggie who were just playing a practical joke on their mother and a neighbor when it just skyrocketed and became viral, I guess, during the time in that era. We don't really know how long seances have been going back, since it is written in the book of Samuel, where Saul consults his former teacher in order to find out what to do in the face of opposition. Now, if you're following along here, I had something that was a really difficult thing to find to go in this recipe, and it was the Kraft sandwich spread. I've never heard of it, nor had I ever used it. Even though I'm from the South, we don't use all these weird little items that they make and put on the shelf for these recipes. But it took me and another lady about 10 minutes on the shelf to find this. So, to save yourself some time, I do recommend, if you are going to make these deviled eggs to the recipe, that you Google what the label and the bottle look like, and you will save yourself a lot of headache and a lot of time. Now, I really don't know all your tips and tricks of how to make your deviled eggs look so perfect. For me, I just kind of smushed it all down and I put it into this little Ziploc baggie, and I did the best I could as far as piping it in there to make it look as uniform and as neat as possible. But if you have any tricks, please pass them my way. Right after filming this clip the next day, I have a little kitty that always hangs out with me anytime I'm in the kitchen or just anywhere in the house in general. And we had a tragic accident that happened the next day after filming this, and as you will see here in just a second, you'll have a little close-up of her. My little Lucky, she left the house one afternoon and she went right out into the middle of the road. I'm not exactly sure why she did that, and she normally doesn't go out in the street, but the minute she went outside that day, for whatever reason, she just went to the middle of the road and she got hit by a car, and it was just the most sad thing ever for the holidays. And so I really miss you, Kitty, and I really hate that this happened. In hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have let you outside that day, even though I know you went out every day, but it made the holidays pretty sad. Our deviled eggs are finished and our table is set, and now we're ready to entertain.
Not bad. Maybe a little too much parsley in it, but not terrible. So I have to know, did your table walk after you made your delicious Thanksgiving spread and included in the Laney Todd's deviled eggs? If so, I want to see that. You better tag me in some of that so I can check out what exactly happened after your Thanksgiving meal. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will, like I said, I will link the book and the recipe below. And also, I hope you enjoyed our little dinner and a seance tonight, as I have enjoyed making it and creating it for you guys. And if you'd like to see more dinner and seances, I think you can pluralize that word. If you'd like to see more, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and I will bring you some more dinner and seances to your door. And until next time, goodbye, guys. Thank you for letting me hostess your dinner and a seance. Until next time, goodbye.